the, what joint was this called again? It's the housing joint. Okay, I've cut down one side of it. What I'm going to do, I could cut down the other side now, but I should really turn it around so I've got the largest part up against the stop. Then I'll cut down the other side, nice and neatly along that edge there. Looking over the top, making sure that I don't go too far, just down to that 1/3 line. And cut down this side, and what we're looking for is a beautiful straight edge along the edge of the saw cut, not jagged with chips and all that sort of thing, but nice and straight down to the line. It doesn't take much cutting because it's such a shallow recess that we're cutting out. Now I'm down to the line on that part. I think I'm down to the line on this part. Down to the line on that bit. Now we want 2 more cuts. You can mark them out if you want. You don't have to, just divide it into thirds. Down to the line, stop at the line. Not quite there yet. Really important that you get these all the way down to the line, the 1/3 line, because this is where we're going to chisel out to. Down to that point there. A little bit more, just make sure we're right down to the line. Now this is very small pieces of short grain, so that when we put a chisel, which I was sure I had over here, so when we put a chisel in there, you can push down, should be able to lean forward or twist and it'll break out. I'd rather get the middle out first. So snap, 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 snap. And you can see it's coming out pretty easily because it's only softwood and it's really short grain, so it'll just pop out pretty quickly. Try not to damage the edge though by rolling it back. Okay, put it in, and if anything, twist it. So you're using it as a lever like that, twisting it sideways. Twist, twist, twist. Out will come the lump of wood if we're lucky. If not, lean forward, and you can hear the wood cracking. I should be able to flick that out with my finger. It's almost there. Same on this side. Normally what you do is saw this out using a circular saw. You go a little bit deeper and use bigger cuts, and it's easy to chisel out. Now if I get in there, now you notice I'm not using the mallet. That's why I pulled those guys up earlier on the mallet, because you don't need a mallet on soft wood when you're taking out 6mm. It's nothing, you know. It's like, if you've got to use a mallet, you're giving yourself a hard time. Okay, got most of it out, but it's not flat across the bottom. I can start working from here, but I've got to have the chisel sort of level with the base. So what I'd rather do is have it closer to the edge. And the way to get it closer to the edge is put your other piece of wood behind it, so it comes out closer to this side. Then we can look at the pencil line there, or the marking gauge line, put the chisel in the line, wiggle to and fro, and again, you shouldn't need to use a mallet. You should just be able to push it forward. So I'm holding the wood with my hand, I'm holding the chisel with my hand, I've got my other hand on the chisel. There's no way I can cut myself, all right? No way. Not even if I tried, I couldn't cut myself doing this. Chisel at the bottom. How far should I go? Should I go all the way to the other side? Why not? Someone knows what they're talking about. Why not? Why shouldn't I go all the way out the other side?
You can damage.
Because when the blade comes out this side, the timber will chip out or everywhere. So you go in from halfway, spin it around, come back from the marking knife line or the marking gauge line, chisel out that side. You might find that your saw cuts weren't quite deep enough. Now all this is by hand. There shouldn't be any chisel, any mallet involved. You might have to, and I'll just do this a little bit safer, you might have to run the edge of the knife along there. If you don't feel confident doing that, you're worried you're going to cut yourself, use the marking knife just to square up that edge. Get the little bits of scrap that are out there, that are in there, out of there, and don't come over and slice your hand because blood comes out. I know, I've done it. It's not very nice. And then we've got a really neat flat bottomed trench, 6mm deep. It's a little bit high on that side, 6mm deep, and it's nice and neat. Now, the proof of the pudding is, does it fit? Is it a good fit? Oh, I'll tell you what. Now, I've put it in, I haven't lifted it up, I don't know. The test of a good joint is whether it stays together with or without glue. Ta-da! So that's what we want to do. Obviously, this joint won't stay together without glue. This joint To my way of thinking, it's a tiny, tiny little bit too loose because it just fell in. All right, I'd like to have to push it in a little bit, but that's about right. Okay, if you put that on there and pick it up and nothing happens, it stays on the ground, it's no good. When I first put this end in, there was no way, because that's the end that I did the chisel cut on before, so that's narrower, that distance across there, than across here. Try it up here somewhere. If that fits in, happy as Larry. And I'd call that, what we're looking for again, is nice, neat edges along there. And I've made a few little mistakes. I've got a dot there and a dot there, and I've got a chisel gouge there where I was twisting the chisel. I shouldn't have done that. Along the bottom, that's about a B, that gap there, and that's a C, that gap there. That needs tidying up a little bit more, but I can fix that by getting the chisel and just working it down a little bit more. Don't sand in there, that's not how you do it. So it's hand tools only, no mallet.